What would happen if you stepped away from your business for a week? You did not touch your laptop, you were completely inaccessible to your team, to your clients, to your consultants and vendors. What would happen? If that kind of makes you feel a little bit sick to your stomach, thinking about being away for a week, if you feel like the house would burn down, no one would know what to do, gears would really, really start grinding. We know your inbox would get crazy, but like the operations of the business, if that really doesn't sound like it would be a good situation, you don't really have a business, you have a very stressful job. And I'm not here to judge you for that, but we do need to talk about it because your business was built from nothing. I've been a small business owner for more than 13 years. Many of you have been doing this much longer, and we build stuff from nothing. We are really smart, we're really good at getting stuff done, and we made it happen. We made something from nothing, and now we employ people and we make the world better for our clients. And a lot of you are involved in charity and philanthropy, and your business makes that possible. But also, if you decide to be a normal human for a week and step away, or if, God forbid, something happens and you have to be away and can't be involved in the business, and the business doesn't keep running, we have a problem. The business is running on your stamina, and your stamina is extensive because business owners are really good at getting stuff done, and that is an asset for a while and then becomes a liability to the business. And ultimately, that cost is the cost of not just to you as a person not being able to take a week off, it's also going to impact the value of your life's work as you get to the end of your business life cycle. I have heard the statistic that about 90% of business owners' wealth is wrapped up in that business. So our companies are our biggest assets for most of us. And as you get on in years that have been running the business for a certain amount of time, and you decide that you want to exit after however much time that is reasonable for you, maybe you want to retire, maybe you want to sell and do something else, maybe it's time to turn the business over to a next generation. When you go to talk to a business broker or an M&A partner, you're going to find out the valuation of your business. And so many people discover at that point that the business is not worth in dollars what it should be worth to them. If they remove themselves from the business, there is no more value in the business because everything depends on you as the business owner. And that is a devastating, heartbreaking situation that I am not okay with. And of course, we're talking about choosing to exit. We don't always get the choice. Sometimes life and circumstances choose for us. I had to close my first business, actually. Life changed for the better. I met my husband. I moved to a different country to be with him, but I couldn't run that business remotely. And I had to just close the business and sell off the assets. There was no additional option. I was younger then than I am now, and it wasn't heavy equipment. It wasn't a massive financial investment, but it was definitely a loss. And it was emotionally really, really hard to see the amount of time and effort and blood, sweat, and tears that I had put into that business after 5.5 years of running it to sell off my stuff at a garage sale. It was a heartbreaking situation. And the longer you are in a business, the more heartbreaking that situation is, no matter what the situation is that is causing you to move on to the next stage in your life. And this doesn't happen in a vacuum. Business owners are like this, and kind of because of the way that we are able to start a business and then get kind of stuck in that business. We get used to being the business. So often it becomes our identity, our company and our identity, our personal life and professional life kind of all meld, and they're all really the same thing. And so we become the business and we get used to being the hero. It helps us feel important. If we're being honest, we're the person, we're the guy that can do all the things, that knows all the things, that makes it all happen. And letting go of that is freaking terrifying. Even just bringing on an employee is scary enough, and frankly, really hard to get all the information that you know out of your head and into another person's head, also known as delegation, is not an easy thing to do. It's really hard to let go of that control, and frankly, a lot of times we're good at doing stuff. It's easier to do it on our own. So it doesn't happen because we are incompetent. Frankly, the reason that a business will depend on the owner is because we're great. We're good at doing stuff. The thing is, that is not sustainable, it's not scalable, and it most definitely is not sellable. So we do have to figure out how to make the business not depend on us so that we can go away for a week for our mental health, our spiritual health, for our physical health, for the health of our family, and frankly, for the health of the business. We need to let our business be free and walk and learn how to walk. It's important for our leaders to learn how to operate without us. So in every way, and certainly in the making your business valuable and so that your business can fund your retirement, we need to get our business to a place where it does not depend on us. I do that work with owners. My methodology for making that happen is twofold. There's a first phase, and then there's a second phase that we repeat over and over again. The first thing we need to do is find out all the hats you are wearing. Figure out everything you're doing. And I know, because I've done it, business owners like once a quarter promise that we're going to sit down and just write it all down and brain dump everything and get it all out of our head and then make decisions. Stop lying to yourself. I will stop lying to myself too. We don't do that because something else always comes up that's more important. So taking the time to write down all of that on your own, very difficult to do. Frankly, even harder to do something useful with that information working on your own. The first thing I do with all my clients is something that we call the All the Hats Blueprint. I use a tool that I created that makes flowcharts of processes live on a call, so we can skip over the frustrating and obnoxious process of writing stuff down. We let the computer do the obnoxious part, and we do the human part of talking to each other. And we get all of that out in less than 2 hours. So we figure out everything that you're doing. What are all the roles that you are filling in your business? Technically, you can do this on your own. It is going to be difficult. It is difficult for me to do on my own because it's just not how business owners think, and frankly, it's not how humans transfer information. Talking is the most successful way for transferring information. The next part is to, I guess, all the hats part B is to put all of those roles in order of extraction or taking them off. What do you need to get rid of first so that you can keep making money, so the business continues to be viable and ideally gets better, increases in revenue and stability? What do we need to do first, second, third? And how do we need to go about doing that? Many M&A readiness consultants will look at your business and give you an analysis and then give you homework and say, congratulations. If you want a 5x on your business, this is what you need to do. You need these kinds of softwares, you need these kinds of systems. Buyers are looking for standardized process, not your phenomenal superhuman work ethic. So do all of these things. That's not ideal. I've never met a business owner who has time and energy to learn how to implement a software that they need for their own business. So my second step of my methodology is to, what we've now identified all the hats, we start with the top one. We say, this is the smallest thing that we can do, that we can get done the fastest, that is going to make an impact in your ability to step back from one of the roles that you are currently filling. We're going to do it, we're going to be successful at it, then we're going to go back to the list and we're going to do thing number 2. So we can work project-based, where we just go back to the list of hats each time, make sure that nothing has changed and start, or we do that as a retainer basis, which is just a little bit less paperwork, frankly. Can you do this on your own? I encourage you to try, because you need to be able to take a week off. Your business needs you to not be the thing that holds everything up. Your family needs that, your health needs that, your leadership team needs that, your clients need your business to not depend on you. Everything in your world gets better when you get to choose how to be involved in your business and make choices about what success looks like for your business, instead of filling 5, 10, 20 different roles in your business. And it's never, ever too soon to think about this. I talk a lot about succession planning and exit planning because that's a really hot fire under certain business owners' butts, but everybody should be thinking about succession planning, because we should all be taking vacations, because sometimes you don't get to choose, and because everybody someday is gonna need to retire and your business needs an end game. So I plead with you, business owner to business owner, to work towards stopping being the hero and work towards building the infrastructure that you need in your business that will support the business without your actual presence. I would be honored to get to help you build that infrastructure whenever the time is right for you. Have a good one, guys.